So that's how I became a writer. And, you know, here I am.
From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of another podcast edition of Conversation with Trent and Company with my brother Nick out of Memphis and the lovely Shan out of Fayetteville, Georgia. Let's bring Nick in. What's going on, Nick? What's going on, brother?
Good, brother.
Look like we got Shan. Look like Shan's moving and shaking right now. What's going on,
I know.
Shan?
Yes, I am. Look how committed I am. Like the show must go on. I am literally in the car.
Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely?
I am committed.
The wonderful and beautiful owner of Tops and Bottoms, proud sponsor of the platform. We truly appreciate your commitment, and we thank you. Really appreciate that.
I'm a real G. I'm a real G.
Mark. Good evening, brother Mark. I see he's commenting there.
Oh, he's in there. He's in there already.
He gonna be full of it tonight.
Hey, he started already. Hey, hold on, Nick. He started already. It's all good. Well, tonight we got a couple of questions. We're talking backstage, man. Traditional or not, we come with a couple of questions tonight, folks. You know, we talk about these ladies and their laundry list. Not even just the ladies. We're talking about friendships and folks that always have a laundry list of things or their requirements and what they require for your friendship. Everything that you have to do. Talk about anything from everything that you have to do, even in a relationship with women. They have let's just be honest about it, an unreachable list, a laundry list that they form, what a man has to do, and all this other foolishness. And my question is, are you giving what you're asking for? Are you actually giving what you're asking for? What are you doing to enhance my life to ensure that I invest in you? Now, we're just not talking about monetary things. We're talking about investing my time in you, investing everything in you, my morals, everything. Mm-hmm. What are you doing to enhance my life to ensure that you get an investment from me? And we're not just talking about monetary things. Mm-hmm. So that that's very important that we clarify what we're speaking about when we talk about what are you asking are you giving what you're asking for?
Yeah.
That's a serious question.
Yeah.
So you understand where I'm coming from, Nick?
Yes. I will say, personally speaking, for me, and it's been my experience that I have, and because I use the word intentional, because what I always say is that friendships are relationships as well, and relationships of most kind are reflective. So if I'm around, if I'm bringing low level energy, and that's just who I am, low level unhealthy energy, in my space, then 9 times out of 10 I am going to be around people who function the same way, right? So a lot of times it's basically looking at our friendships, romantic relationships, whatever that it is, and really, like you said, are we really, are we giving what we're demanding? And for me, I would say yes, because I look at my friendships and I say there's a clear difference between an associate and a friend. There's a difference between how much that I give to an associate as opposed to how much I give to a friend. And I'm going to tell you one thing here, my last point.
Go ahead.
Because if I call you a friend, you've earned a place in my life.
Exactly. There we go. A lot of and let's just be honest about it. Most people, when we talk about friendships and whatnot, in these day and times in this climate, a lot of people are selfish, man, and what they're giving. They want 100,
Yep.
but they're only giving you 25%.
Right.
That part.
They want 100. They want complete 100. I want 100% from you, Nick. Give me 100%. I'm only gonna give you this 20. You better be satisfied with the 20 I'm giving you. You understand what I'm saying? That's very selfish. That's very selfish.
Yep.
I require, if I'm giving you 100, you give me 100, Nick. Let me have it, so we can make 200.
Yep.
That imbalance, that unevenly yoked, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I don't care if it's a friendship, relationships, or anything like that. If someone's giving 100 and all you're giving a subpar 20%, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear Sister Shan's perspective.
What's going on,
What's the
Shan?
question? Okay, with the actual list. With the actual list. What did you say? Wait, what did you say?
With them glasses on.
That's right, boo. That is right. Grown women can wear glasses.
That's what I'm talking about.
Grown women can wear glasses. And I see young men do too. Let us not forget you got a pair on your face.
Is this true?
Excuse me. A lot of folks find these very attractive and sexy, especially in the young men realm. It's like that whole naughty teacher effect. I digress. Sorry. Anyway, what am I supposed to be speaking on? Got me all off topic with the
No, I'm sorry. Are you giving the laundry list of the demands of what
So let's look at this. So I think we have to be careful with our wording. It's not necessarily demands, they're standards. And I say that not necessarily. Some you can say standards, or you can say almost like your wish list. Have I had a list? Absolutely.
I think they camouflage that entire thing. Women camouflage that thing with standards. They camouflage that whole laundry list with standards.
What do you mean camouflage? What do you mean by camouflage?
Meaning they'll throw the word, that's my standard. That's my standards. No, that's not your standard, because if that was your standard, you'd be reciprocating it. You'll be giving what you're asking for.
Well, it can be a standard as far as what they want, not necessarily of what they are. So those are two different things. What they want and what they are two totally different things that we're talking about.
Enough.
Now, in reality, yes, they are, because you can.
That's not say fair enough.
You can want something, but not not be able to give it at that point or possess that same thing. And not saying that that's right, but you can't have. Those are two separate things to me. I've made several lists, and I've had to kind of adjust my list accordingly over the years, because there were times, I was unrealistic with stuff that I would put on my list. Like, I can't say I want somebody with 7 figures and I don't have 7 figures, or I don't have a prospect of 7 figures.
Right.
I mean, I could if I wanted to be a little sports groupie or a little, something like that. That's different, but that's not me. However, I think mature people recognize that you have to, in order to have a successful relationship or partnership, so to speak, you have to be bringing those. You have to be able to bring those things, or be in the process of bringing those things to the table too. Just like, women want some kind of financial security. Men want the same. I've learned that there are some men, they want the same thing too. They don't want to have to be the ones that are always providing the financial security, things like that.
Here's the last question on that list was, what are you doing to enhance my life, to ensure that I give you an investment? I invest my time, invest everything. What are you doing to enhance my life? So why does it always have to be the one-sided thing? We'll go back to the one-sided friendship, relationships, and all that stuff. Why do I have to give up 100 and you're only doing a subpar 20? What are you doing to enhance my life to ensure that you get that investment?
Okay, so what people do, I think I look at it, and I think I had this conversation with someone before where they were in a relationship and they said the other person wasn't bringing anything to the table. And bringing something to the table doesn't necessarily mean that they have to bring the same things you bring. It could be something that is of equal value to you. They have to, so it may not necessarily be that they're bringing a certain income to the table, they could bring something else that is just as equally of value to the person they're giving it to, or whatnot. So it all depends on what's valuable to that person.
Correct.
But you have to have something. And depending on what season you are in your life, you may not be able to bring 100% right at that minute. You may only be able to bring 50%, 60%. But for me, it has to be that even if you don't have it right then, you should have the mindset of being in the process of trying to get to that point where you can bring something of value that's going to not just enhance my life, but enhance both of our lives.
Exactly. For example, in my relationship, my requirements are morals, loyalty, true trust and honesty, all the above. The monetary stuff, I'm not even concerned with that. I want the loyalty, the morals. Like I said before on the previous podcast, what are you going to do? What are you going to say when I'm not in the room? Are you going to stand in for me? Are you going to stand? Those are my requirements. So are you going to give me 100 of that? Because I'm going to definitely give 100. So that was a question to my girlfriend. Like, hey,
it's kind of like what people say about you when you're not there. I'm sorry,
exactly.
but that plays also in friendships. Are your friends speaking positively and highly of you when you're not there? Are they standing up for you? Are they going to let other people talk about you negatively when you're not there to defend your own self? Right.
Exactly.
So
correct. And I so agree with that, because I think a lot of times you hear people chirping around other people around when they're not there. And
say that again, Nick. That was profound.
I hear a lot of people. You hear it in conversations with people chirping about other people that are in their circle. And if that's not the biggest red flag, I don't know what else is, because there's no way because there's no way that this is the person that I consider a friend that I am going to be disloyal to by talking crap about behind that back. Now, if someone even if it's somebody who I may not, if I hear somebody, okay, it's like this. Even if I hear two people talking about my friend, and I know that they're talking about my friend, I will tell you what I will do 100% of the time. I will get up and I will go around there and I will say, hey, what you're saying is not right. Right? That is my friend. And that is protect. People talk about this protection. That is protection right there, one-on-one. Your loyalty, your protection will be where your loyalty lies. This is fact.
Yeah.
These are the facts.
So that goes back to the question that was formed in the beginning of the podcast. Are you giving what you're asking for? So it's not just about the monetary stuff. We're talking about morals, loyalty, everything, just like Nick spoke on. So that's a lot of people have that concept, misconstrue that concept. They subpar when they're giving up, their percentage.
Yeah.
Very subpar, very subpar. They're asking for the 100%, only giving up 20%.
Right. And it goes back to like what I was saying backstage about there's this kind of rhetoric, since I call it sensationalist rhetoric around bare minimum, right? And here's how I'm going to break this down. When managers are giving reviews, on a annual basis, you have a 1 through 5, right? And a lot of times, you'll have many associates who will get, or employees who will get 3. Very few will get 1s and 2s. Very few will get 4s and 5s. You have to be a rock star to get a 4 and 5 consistently, right? Right. So when you look at the bell curve of all the employees and all the data that's gathered, most of the data arrives around the 3s, which means that they are meeting the bare minimum. They are doing their job at the best that they can, right? Now, this is, in my opinion, this is what I think people. This is just my opinion. Because when you are given the bare minimum, you're giving love, you're giving loyalty, you're giving respect, you're giving kindness. That's the bare minimum there. At least for me, that's the bare minimum. Now, this is what I believe. I believe that people who've had piss poor experiences now want to expect over the top demands of people when you don't even know what the bare minimum is. So how can you expect 4s and 5s if you don't know what a 3 is?
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree. And most people, even especially on social media, you see these different groups and what, you know, people, particularly women, to be honest. Let's just be honest. Let's just be upfront and honest about it. Most of these women who are asking for these big laundry list that requirements from these men, extremely subpar. Subpar. They can't even get up to a 5. They're struggling to get to a 2.
Wow.
And I would even ask and challenge, what does the here's the question. If what you're asking for and what you require is a 4 and 5, then what is bare minimum to you? Because if bare minimum to you, and this is the reason why I say when people have had, and it goes back to this first question, are you giving what you're asking for? Because if you've had, and I'm speaking on friendships too, if you've had piss poor experiences with people, it makes no sense to then go around and say, I want 4s and 5s, unless you have done the work on yourself to be a 4 and 5. And then quite naturally, when you work on yourself to be a 4 and 5, you're going to quite naturally attract them.
You know, you do know that, you guys do know that some women really believe that cooking a meal actually just supersedes everything. I mean, hell, I cook for myself with one hand.
Right.
Literally. So
it supersedes. Now, I've never heard that it supersedes everything. Wow.
I mean, cooking a meal home, bring it. You coming home, bring that checkbook, bring that money, as long as they have the food sitting in front of the table.
I've heard that. I'll say I've heard that from.
I know some women like that.
Yeah, I've known a few. I can't say that they're friends of mine, but I'd say that I've heard some associates say things like that before.
Interesting. So have either of you ever encountered women who had a list? Hey, Alvin.
Yes.
What up, Al? What up, Slash? Yeah, actually, yeah, we have.
Oh, Mark, I didn't speak to you. Sorry. Hi, Mark. How are you this evening? Behave, please.
Hey, guys. Hey, guys, hold on 1 second. Look like StreamYard's done some upgrades here, so we can actually see the viewers' comments on the screen. Can you see it, Nick?
Yes, I see it. Yes, I was kind of surprised.
Hey, Nick, we got a serious upgrade here, Nick.
I'm looking at one right now. I'm sorry.
Hey, Nick. Well, look, I'm sorry, not the guys. I'm sorry, not the guys, Nick.
I couldn't go live.
I know. Let's talk to the guys. Al says, speak, brother, real talk. So I know he's talking about the entire, you know, they put a meal in front of you.
Yeah.
And they think that that's all they have to do when they're paying all the bills. The guys are paying all the bills, taking care of them literally. A meal just not going to get it. If he's bringing the Bible, praying over you, doing all these things, paying the bills, paying your bills, paying yourself for all that stuff. Come on, man. Where's the quality in that relationship?
Right. And I'm gonna tell you before we go on break here, the quality of a relationship. This has just been my experience. The quality of any great relationship is rooted in truth. Can we be truthful with each other in a compassionate way that we can be compassionate to one another and still hold each other accountable?
Exactly. One more time, Nick. One more time, brother.
Yeah. Can we speak truth to one another in a compassionate way? Therefore, we can hold each other. We can validate how each other feel, but hold each other accountable. Because I'm telling you, a foundation that is not built on truth. Whew. And what I hear is there are a lot of people who will say, men and women, who will say, I want someone to be truthful with me. I want someone to be truthful with me. But if you're so resistant on what that is and what it looks like, and you can't get past anyone calling you out on your stuff, this ain't gonna be the right friendship. Let's not even talk about the relationship, romantic relationship. This is not even gonna get past the friendship stage if you can't accept that.
Exactly. And then, you know, and I'm glad you said that, because most men, honestly, let's just be honest, most men type them in that they're actually doing these requirements, these guys that are going in and meeting these requirements and not even knowing that it's an imbalance in the relationship. They don't have the cojones to cut it off and cut it short. You got to have the cojones to cut it short real quick. When you see the red flag, cut it short. And if you stop, you never know. You stop in heartache way before you get to it.
Wow.
Before we get to it. And we're gonna get to a break on some commercials, but hey, I'm loving these upgrades, man. Look at our Mark here.
I'm looking at the upgrade. I'm looking to upgrade in the seatbelt too. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Mark,
That's
Nick taking his shirt off early, man. I thought he would wait till after the commercial. I thought Nick would wait till after the commercial.
Get it right. Ultimate upgrade. I'm gonna be the W.
Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely ultimate upgrade.
This is true.
That is true. So we're gonna take a real quick break, man. We'll be right back after the break, folks.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
So we're back, folks. Back. Good stuff. That was looks like Al Sal will be coming back with those famous wings, those 31 flavors of wings from Al Sal.
Nice. 31 flavors?
31 flavors like Baskin Robbins. 31, literally 31 flavors. That's Al Sal. So anybody want to pick that up, contact Al Sal via Instagram or Facebook, I'm sure, to get those 31 flavors. If you're in the New Orleans area, the greater New Orleans area, everyone knows who Al Sal is with those famous wings. Good stuff. He'll be doing takeout orders and deliveries as well. Nice. Good stuff. And also the wonderful Tops and Bottoms, proud sponsor for the platform weekly. Good stuff. Actually, I think her website is running at the bottom of the screen tonight.
So, yes, I'm so excited. So, I'm sorry. I was just excited about that. Sorry. Anyway,
that's all good. It's all good. Well, go ahead, Nick.
No, I'm reading Mark's comment when he said, slow down like Bobby V. Some women bring more than just cooking and wok to the table. Homemaking is much more than that. Therefore, I'm not going to highlight Real Housewives of Rio. Exactly. And it goes back to like what I said before about intentionality and where we put our time in, right? And things like that. And I think mature friendships and relationships, and I do say friendships or relationships as well too, but they understand that. And what I saw another comment that Michelle said, a person must be able to both give and receive the truth. This is the absolute fact.
Look, I think that's Michelle K. Hey, Michelle, that's Michelle. She's actually a proud supporter out of Chicago of the conversation over the years. Hey, Michelle, good to see you, man. Really good to see you.
That is the absolute gospel, because I'm telling you, I've had friends where this is the bond that we have. I have a brother named Jai. Him and his wife, they stay in Murfreesboro here. And Jai, one thing that he is on me about, because he knows that I'm a person who will hold myself accountable, but he will not, the moment that he thinks that I'm going to share, he won't let me do it. So when you have people that's in your corner who won't let you, who will give you the truth, and they know that you can take it, those are the best people to be around, because, like I said, they care for you. Now, I also want to be clear that of how, I don't want to say necessarily how you deliver that truth, because sometimes there can be the truth, but sometimes where people can just be straight up assholes, right? And I think the discernment for me comes in as, okay, who is this person in my life, and what do they represent? If this person doesn't really hold weight into my life like that, then I probably, but if it's somebody who does hold weight, absolutely.
Exactly.
Because people are going to have opinions about you all day long. It's the ones who really matter who you have to listen to the most.
Exactly. So Shan, I got questions.
Yes, sure. I love questions from you and Nick. I just love them. They always seem to lead back to 6'2", though. Anyway, yes. Continue.
Yeah, I hear you.
Y'all stuck on that height thing. But anyway, yes.
You say you was? What did you say? Past it? Was?
No, I said you guys are stuck on that height thing. It seems to always make its way back around. But anyway, your question, sir.
Yeah. So, what do you require? What's your list? Would you say your list? Would you give 100%, or what percentage would you be giving? Think about that. What percentage? If you're asking for 100,
if I'm asking for 100%, so here's the thing: I can ask for 100%. Am I willing? I also have to say, am I willing to accept less temporarily, or permanently, or do I need to readjust? Because I've had a list for years, and I've had to readjust that list. One of the things that is on my list, or some of the things that are on my list, are going to be those things like not just truth. I take truth, being truthful or honest, a step further, and say being transparent. That means volunteering the information without me having to ask for it, because men are real good. You can ask them something straightforward, and I'm going to generalize this. I'm sorry. But y'all are real good at being like, well, you didn't ask me that. Right. But still, being transparent, but being able and being willing to be transparent. Definitely, we've got to have some spiritual baseline. He has to have a spiritual baseline and understand that he is not the center of the universe nor the creator of it, but that there is something higher and greater than him. I have things like, folks that have to get along with children. I will say this. I do not deal with people who don't have children. I just don't. I think it's very challenging for someone who doesn't have children to understand the lifestyle of someone who does have children or young children.
Time out.
For me right now.
Hold on. I don't have children, but I will say that from somebody who, but no, because you opened the Pandora's box, so I got to go there.
Uh-oh.
I don't have children, but I have friends of mine who have children. But and even though I may not experience what parenthood is, when I hear people talk about their feelings around parenthood and things like that, I tend to draw and connect to the experience by feelings more so than experience. So I may not directly have experience with having parenthood, but I'm also too gonna connect to some people's perspective on it just off the feelings base. So if someone says, man, being a mother, a single mother is hard because you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And what I do is I listen to that and I receive that. I often draw back in my life when have those moments of when I felt overwhelmed. And you connect to the experience by then. Won't be able to connect to the experience, but the feelings I would be able to connect to.
Interesting.
What
Mark
book you read that in, Nick?
Mark wants to know you're being chauffeured around in your Maybach.
Lord,
I wish, but for your lips, the God's ears, I have a Maybach and a chauffeur coming. Keep selling. Look, y'all keep buying them cookies. It's coming. But no,
Yes,
those are some of the things, and I will say, there are things that you have to just be flexible on. There are certain things I'm not going to be flexible on. I'm not going to be flexible on someone who, doesn't believe in one commitment, that doesn't believe in being honest and transparent. Someone who's not caring. All those type of things. But can I bend or be flexible on some of the more superficial things as far as
like
I've
the height
never put
requirement? That's very superficial.
Okay.
Let it go.
And I truly believe that height requirement can be broken.
God.
Yes.
I truly believe that.
Yes. You just ain't met the right one yet. But like you tell me, you just ain't met the right one.
But you know what? She probably has, but she'll never tell us, Nick.
Right.
She'll never tell us.
She just ain't met the right one yet. That's all. Just saying.
Wait a minute. Can y'all get out my business?
That's what you tell me. That's what you tell me. I'm just giving.
This is about the lit. Like you guys see what I say? How it always goes back to that. It always goes back to that.
We just messing.
And that's like the one thing you two harp on because neither one of you are tall.
Hey, I'm tall. Oh, I almost said something.
Hey, let me tell you something.
I almost said something. Yes. Okay.
Knock it off. Knock it off.
Wait a minute.
I'm 5'10", but I feel like I'm 6'5".
Oh Lord, are those new glasses? I'm sorry, you look different.
Yeah, they're new glasses. I had a procedure done early part of the week that had to have something corrected on my left eye.
Very kind of like Malcolm X-ish type thing.
By any means necessary. By any means necessary.
But Shan, what I will say is that I'll speak for my life, right? And I'll say the people who I have a wide range and diversity of friends. And now the values and principles are the same, but I will say that I have people I have intellectual conversations with. I have those type of friends. I have friends who call for what it is. They're gangbangers. Like they are solid in the streets. That's who they are. Right now I know how to limit that, put boundaries around that, but that's what it is. I have friends that are in the LGBTQ community, right? I have friends in so many different places and spaces and stuff like that, right? And I have friends who are parents and versus, me who's not, right? And I have friends who are married, all that, right? But the one thing that I always say is I go back to the core principles, right? And when you can live the core principles out within yourself, and then and when you can live, right? I'm sorry, looking at this comment, I gotta stop. When you can see the core principles in yourself and you live by that, you quite naturally attract people who are drawn to your vision. So I'm gonna use this example. It's like when a company sets a culture, right? Or when a person has, someone on their team, right? You bring people on board at a company who, for the most part, fit the culture of a company, right? So we function the same way because we are the culture setters, right? With our principles and things like that, and we quite naturally attract people who, that fall into those principles and values.
Exactly.
Right. So I think that goes back. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say just real quick, Trent, that it goes back to when you say you attract, and it's true. You attract who you are, not what you want.
Exactly.
So you have to model those core principles.
Yeah. Let's get back to the folks and the audacity of the 20%ers requiring 100%.
20% is woo. Is this 5% nation of gods and earth? Is this the nation of gods and earth? Sorry, that's from Brother Mark there. He knows I know the lingo there, but
exactly. So yeah, you get these folks who honestly, so they're in turn really truly looking for an upgrade, saying that they're the upgrade.
Yeah,
right.
They're looking for the upgrade to validate themselves. But think about the danger in them meeting a man that's not as confident.
Right.
And he's going to think that, oh, he's not an upgrade. He's not the upgrade. But if you meet the wrong woman, she will have you thinking that she's the upgrade. In actuality, she's trying to attract the upgrade to enhance her life.
And that's where it goes. I'm gonna call, that's when the delusion sets in, if you ask me, because it's unless you are that yourself, and how you gauge that is, I often say, like, show me your friends. If you show me your friends, I guarantee you that I can have, I don't want to say an informed opinion, but if you're around a lot of people who have low level energy, that I keep going back to,
exactly,
why then would you want someone who is not even at there if you're not at that place? Right?
Exactly. And that goes back to what I was saying. Like in most cases, who's ever actually placing this laundry list together, putting these laundry lists together, their shit's not together.
Correct. I'm just gonna be honest. I think there is so much. Call it for what it is.
And let's just be clear and fair about that. Their shit's not together. Nothing about their life is together. I'm sorry.
I don't agree with that. I don't think you can make a general statement say just because they make their own list
something
of what they want to desire.
I'm not talking about like one or two things like what you're talking about as far as what a height requirement. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these folks with laundry lists.
Correct.
I'm talking about laundry lists.
Correct.
The reason I can speak on them because I've actually encountered some of them.
Correct. I have too. And when you call them and when you challenge them on that,
they get on defensive.
Here we go. Either. This is the most cliche thing someone says. I don't want to settle. You have this whole laundry list, and then you turn around and say, "Well, I'm not settling." What? So you're gonna be
here because here you living in a Section 8, but you're not settling. Come on, man, knock it off.
Thank you.
Let's just be honest here. Come on.
You want somebody to be over and above 3 times. Wow, you're not even giving the
because they're looking for the upgrade.
Correct.
They're looking for the upgrade.
And it goes back to what I said, when people have had piss poor experiences. See, a lot of people don't know what the bare minimum is because they've never had I don't want to say never. Their experiences have shown, and history has shown, that they haven't had to date. They haven't had what the bare minimum looks like. And if you don't know what that bare minimum looks like, it is very hard to then be able to say, "Oh, I want to get me a 4 and 5." No, like, people just do not understand what a 4 and 5 would have to be. Person wouldn't even understand what a person meeting that minimum is. Brother Trent, to your point, I believe some people use that as a way to validate themselves.
Great point. Mark speaking on upgrade, nice. And some think that the update is an upgrade.
That's a good one.
Real good one. Many want 12 a.m. in the club, then end up with the 1:32 a.m. quick pick that night and possibly for life. Just saying.
Damn, Mark.
Hey, I could always count on my brother to bring it home.
I gotta use that. I gotta coin Brother Mark for that.
Update is an upgrade.
Update is an upgrade. Woo-wee.
Hey, Shan, that's that half thought type of conversation you be saying me and Mark be talking about. You know what I have stuff.
Very much so. 1:30 to 2 a.m. quick pick. Is that part of the what's understood that need to be explained?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I think, like, and the reason why I say that is because I am huge on friendships. I'm huge on human. Let me phrase it. I'm huge on human connectedness. However that pans out, because I believe that human connectedness is a very essential component of our existence here on Earth. Right, being able to connect, human connectedness is that, and it's just it really is damn near scary to see, you know, people who, and it's even to the point now where I hear people say, but let me phrase it, I've seen people say, "Oh, I don't want any friends. I just want business partners," and that's fine. I'm not saying business partners don't have a place in your life, but what I'm also in learning how to separate those between friends, associate business partners, and stuff like that. The problem, what I've come to realize, that the reason why some people don't want friends is because people do not want to hear the truth about themselves. This is where people don't want to be accountable for areas of someone calling them out respectfully in ways.
exactly.
That's just what it is. That's just my opinion, but yeah.
No, that's a great point, man. That's a great point. You know, a ton of folks normally, when you find folks that don't want to be challenged, they normally don't want to be called out. They normally don't want that light on them. They'll shine that light on you in the dark, but they don't want that light on them.
But that's the thing, like when it comes to being challenged, and you know, here is where I'm struggling with in my life, because what I have to realize is, because I function a certain way, I have to understand someone else functions a completely different way. However, what I will say is, when someone is very invested and astute when it comes to their business, and if something isn't working with their business, then you kind of review, you peel the onion back, and you peel the onion back, or you may hire a consultant who may come in and say, "Hey, I think that what you're doing here is blank. If you're really trying to go here, this is what you need to do," right? So imagine having friends who are like that, in a compassionate and kind way, almost like a consultant in a way, to where, yes, you can have fun together and all that, but at the root of it, it's rooted in truth, because people are afraid to be challenged, because I think that people, it's just my opinion, I think people are afraid of the unknown. See, when you're comfortable and okay with where you're at, it's familiar to certain people. But when you're challenged, you're having to go through like unfamiliar territory. But I'm gonna tell you, that unfamiliar territory is where diamonds are made.
A lot of folks don't realize that, though. A ton of folks don't realize that. But that's a great point, Nick. That's a real great point. That's a great point. But you know, like back to this, are you asking what you're are you giving what you're asking? So, in my opinion, when folks, like I said earlier in the podcast, when folks are asking for 100 and they only could barely come up with 20%, they're lacking in certain areas. I think Shan disagrees on that, but I mean, it's real fair to say that they're lacking in a ton of areas. They're trying to camouflage with your shine.
So let me ask this. Is it, and I say this because I have been guilty of this in my past, and I had to learn how to, with this 100%, with this 100%, is it right to give 100% off top, or does someone work to that 100%, or do you give up 100% right off the bat?
Repeat that one more time, brother.
Yeah. So
that's a good question.
When we're meeting people, should they work towards getting to that 100%, or should we give them 100% right off the bat?
That's a great question. It depends on. Yeah, that's a real good question. For me, it depends on the person that I'm actually dealing with. So I would handle that on an individual basis.
Correct. Situational. So it's completely situational, individual. Yeah. Because some people, the reason why I say that is because I know I have been, because I am a giver, and some of my I don't want to say downfalls. A lot of my lessons have been I would give 100% up front, meaning that they didn't have to earn a thing because I'm giving 100% up front.
Exactly. I'll tell you what that could be. I had a situation to where I was given 100%, and this woman wasn't even coming up with 5%. I created a monster. And when I pulled back and I put the wallet back in the back pocket and sat on it, it became a problem for her.
I think you told me one time, Trent, about, it was some episodes ago, about when we give too much, it completely turns, a lot of women off because he's giving me too much, right?
Exactly.
And a lot of it is like, and the reason why, what I've learned is having completely situational.
Right.
For the most part, still they have to earn it. Like you have, like when I call you a friend, like there has been you've earned that place, and because that's something that I don't throw out all willy nilly, right? And because I'm gonna tell you, situations expose things more than anything.
Exactly. And and the reason why I was able to speak to that because I was in that situation to where I came in the door, in the gate, giving up 100%.
Yeah.
The moment I realized that I was only getting 5% in return of an investment, I'm giving 100% of investment and I'm getting a 5% in return.
5%?
5%.
Wow. And how long did this go on?
It's embarrassing to even say how long it went on.
Wow. Okay.
It went on for a few years. So the moment I sat on that wallet, I put that wallet in my pocket and I sat on that wallet, it became an issue for her. A complete issue. But we cause trouble to ourselves and bring trauma to ourselves by not recognizing that they're never going to come up to that. You have to realize, some men have to realize you are the upgrade. That's why she's after you.
Baby. I'm just saying.
Hey Mark, you pulling that shirt off again.
But no, that is true. And I think when you're around romantic relationships or friendships, when it's just healthy and things like that, like it is a beautiful thing to have friends who can support you, who both of you can rely on each other. You know this person loves you, and there's so many things, and it's kind of like, hold on, he said, I'm not a believer in love at first sight. I believe in learning to love over the long run. Like a time release capsule. I'm giving respect and the benefit of the doubt. Wow. So agree with that, because here's how this is kind of how my thing with love is.
Look like we have a new viewer. We want to highlight this viewer, Keisha D.
Keisha. That's Keisha. Hey, Keisha. Thanks for logging on.
What
good
made
stuff,
you
Keisha? Good stuff. Where's Keisha from?
She's actually from here in the Atlanta area.
Good stuff. Welcome, Keisha. Welcome to the conversation. Thank you.
So she had a question for you. What made you enter the situation opting you to hold your wallet and heart open in that way?
What was her question?
She said, what made you enter the situation opting to hold your wallet and heart open in that way? She put you on a hot seat.
You can't come in asking me.
She ain't taking no prisoners. That's right.
So read that question. I can't see her comment.
Okay. What made you enter the situation opting to hold your wallet and heart open in that way?
Was it the punk?
The seat.
Hey, let's be fair. The sex was great.
Fair. Okay.
The sex was great.
Okay.
And like I said, I spoke.
You did that for years, over some sex.
Well, listen though. But
I
spoke of this on previous past podcasts. All men know when they're tricking, or when they're investing. All men know when they're tricking, or when they're investing. Yeah. I was tricking. I was tricking for several years.
Church lady got a question in a moment.
Wait, she's a church lady?
No, me. I mean me. I'm putting up the church lady finger. I got a question.
I got you.
Yeah, I gotta see. Wait a minute. So did you
player?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So did you ever tell this woman that you loved her?
During sex.
That was the only time you ever told this woman that you loved her?
During sex.
That's the only time you ever told this woman.
How did this come out of?
Nah, bruh.
You in the hot seat, brother. You in the hot seat, brother.
I have a time or two. Yes, I have.
You did a time or two. How many years are we talking about here? Let's just, because you ain't just say a time or two. A time or two is like 2 times in how many years? That don't even sound right.
Several years. It was several years.
So you only said it twice outside of sex.
I'm not gonna say how many times. I don't remember.
I'm just saying. Let's be honest. Did you really go into it knowing that you was tricking and you didn't just get caught up, not just in the sex, but in having feelings too? We've all been stupid. We've all been stupid and a fool for love at some point.
Exactly. But my whole point
is, say what it is and don't try and cover that up like, oh, the sex was phenomenal. I ain't never tell this.
Come on, Shan.
I loved her and stuff when I was up there banging. Don't do that. Don't do that. Try to, but don't do that. Be honest, right?
So how did you come in and start all this trouble?
Writing your books, right?
Look at Shan. Come on, Shan. You better hold him accountable. Come on,
Shan. That's what you write about in your books, right? Your truth. Owning your truth. So own your truth. Exactly, if you were stupid in love and you all this other stuff, then do it. If she played you, then that's one thing.
But you played her for some sex.
I mean, he just paid for it, right? It goes, right? But let's just
say this. Let's say this and move past that topic. It was a decent investment for the time that was spent.
It was a decent investment
for the time that was spent.
Okay,
good stuff.
Don't try and do that with us.
Thank you for coming in and causing all this trouble, Keisha. What a way to come in.
Mark, talk about that's not the church lady finger. That's how slaves asked their masters to go to the restroom. We didn't need a history lesson, Mark. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. It's for me, it's my church lady finger.
Good stuff. Good stuff. We're gonna take a quick break and come back to Keisha and Mark and all these folks in here. And we'll talk about some cookies in a minute. We'll be right back, folks.
You said, damn, but you tricked a long time.
Hey, Keisha, I'll come back and deal with you in a minute. 1 second. We'll be right back.
Check out the creative work of the author Trent Williams of www.taylorkennedymedia.com. Chapter of the Delta gives us a peek at his life-changing events. And if that's not enough, Trent tells you more about his brothers and his life through memoirs in his book, The Four Horsemen. His blogs and daily stimulating quotes are published in his book, Life's Little Addiction. And when you have a need of some human coaching of life and relationships, take a look at Conversations with Trent, Volume 1 and 2, and Conversations with Trent, Limited Edition. You will find his works available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all online book retailers.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
Sorry, when I heard the commercial about how you were saying how you booked and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look. So Alvin said the heat is on, and I'm going to address this. So Mark said when someone was using the privacy, he's talking about me. So let's not talk in riddles here. Perhaps that someone was texting a new viewer to ask those tricking questions.
Exactly.
So convenient and timely. In the words of Three Stacks, keep your heart. Excuse me. It was
my guy. Always have my back. I was
not, and I don't text and drive, Mark. It's illegal within the state of Georgia.
Yeah,
and
Mark, I find that kind of strange that Keisha come in on our first thing and just go at my neck.
I got my brother's back like the NOI, like that party in the harbor. Oh Lord, you know what? I don't know what
good.
That is. What is the NOI? What is that?
They talking about NOLA.
Oh, what's the party in the harbor?
Oh, we used to give these parties when we were young, and Mark was DJ. I mean, I think I was about 16, 17, something like that. We give quarter parties and to raise money, and we have to go studio time and stuff like that.
You know what? We're not supposed to play favorites on here, Mark. We're all supposed to kind of like be friendly with everybody, and we do the right thing and say the right thing. Like, yes, I was driving. Thank you very much, Mark. Like, why are you all in my business?
So let's get back to the tricking.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
So yeah, I mean, it was a player's move on her part, and I got caught up in the Twizzle.
Okay, that's all you got to say.
So
y'all like to talk about because you guys like to talk about how women get digmatized. So let's just be real. It happens the same way too.
This is true.
Absolutely. So that's why I was able to speak on that on previous podcasts about making sure being careful with how much you give, because your 100% can dwindle to that 5%. If you're going down in that trash, you're gonna get to the bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
It's just be fair about it. Good stuff, though. Thank you. I appreciate that, Keisha, for airing me out like that.
Ooh, she did that. She did that too. She had just come and had one question, and that was
she dropped the mic with the smoke. Like, what?
Hey, Mark, and Nick. I believe it was a setup, but it's all good. I believe it was a setup. I wasn't prepared. I guarantee it won't happen again, though.
No, that's good stuff, though.
Yeah, real good stuff. All
right.
Real good stuff. So let's talk about these tops and bottoms real quick before we get out of here.
What we're gonna talk about. So my website is actually it's there. It's still under construction, but you can actually go to it now. It's tabsediblecreations.com, and you'll be able to go there and place orders directly, have them shipped out. Like, I am just so excited, as well as my email address. I have my email address set up too. So if you need to contact me directly, you can at shannon.hemming@tabsediblecreations.com.
Now that's a serious upgrade there. Business email.
That is right. That's what I'm saying.
Good stuff.
Look at him talking about, for the record, she must have that snappy nappy duck. Oh, he's so foul.
You already know, Mark. You already know.
But snappy nappy, that to me seems like that might be something you don't want if it's snappy and nappy.
Yeah, That snapping napping taking me back to the conversation we had last.
Your little 12-year-old hoe.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was trauma, very, very much trauma, very trauma, very trauma.
Are you still traumatized or not?
I'm starting to itch right now thinking about it.
He's starting to itch right now.
I'm starting to itch right now thinking about that.
You'll ask your brother, hey, did they laugh at you when you told them that? Like, this fool don't know what the hell he doing.
What to do. Didn't know. I didn't. I mean, I was 12. So
that's because you didn't have no business doing that at 12.
Yeah, well, you know,
it happens. We learn. We grow.
And it wasn't a setup from the get up, Mark. There was no setup needed. She's just highly intelligent, and she listens and pays attention. And she had a very intriguing question, insightful question.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Well, welcome, Keisha, to the conversation. Hopefully, you visit again and cause more drama. Really appreciate it. So, have you been selling cookies, man?
Yes, actually, I had several orders over this weekend that went out. And I'm actually working on a new one. So hopefully by tomorrow or either Tuesday, I'll have it posted. But if you are someone who likes chocolates, you're going to really love this. And actually not only cookies, I had, what else did I make this week? Oh, cheesecakes.
Cheesecake,
yeah. So
good stuff, man.
The cheesecake, it's all about the cheesecake. So yeah. So I'm just, I look at him. I fully upgraded from golden Oreos to these cookie makers double stuff. Yes, you did. Thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Real good stuff. How was your birthday, man? You enjoyed yourself?
I did. I can remember it this year, so that's awesome.
Almost. Let me stop.
There were a couple of years before that I didn't remember it because I was enjoying life. But yeah, but I did. But the celebration continues. It's a whole Leo season. You know, it's throughout Leo season.
Wait, time out. Yeah. He said, "Hey, yo, Mr. Epic, it only costs $40 nowadays."
Wow.
And then $40. I can't do nothing with that 40, man. I can't do nothing with that 40. That means I'm going to the bottom of the barrel. I can't do nothing with that, Mark.
Mark, how do you know how much it costs?
Oh, that's a good question. Uh-oh.
Go ahead. We'll wait.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that $40, you go to the bottom of the barrel. She's asking for 40. Something wrong with that.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
I told you. Had to be one of Heidi Fleiss's girls, honey. Thousands of dollars for the time, honey. One of Heidi Fleiss's girls.
I still stand on it. I don't care what it is, $40 or $1,500 trick. She's still a trick.
Baby, dude, you was paying for it though. Already.
Let's get off of that time. Let's continue with that.
What are you talking about? You was already paying for it.
Pay for it in different ways.
A whole bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
That's the going rate he heard on the internet. Yeah, right.
No, but seriously, I know, like I always say, we in the midst of our conversations we joke and stuff like that. But when it does come to just having healthy friendships and not even just healthy friendships, but being realistic about what you require and where you're currently at.
Absolutely.
And are you giving what you are requiring of someone else?
Absolutely. And that's the most important piece of it. Just open dialogue, man. Communication. There's nothing wrong with actually reading the fine print before you dive in. There's nothing wrong with it. And if it's like Sharon, she got that 6'5". When you know that, run quick.
We've gone from 6'2" to 6'5". Okay.
She ain't met the right person yet. That's all that is. Yeah. You just ain't met the right person. That's what you tell me. So I'm only giving you I'm only giving what I receive. So
I've had so much more living and experience to understand what I want and why I want it.
I think Shan has. She just hasn't devolved this.
This is my last point, Shan. This is what I'll say, and this is what I had to. I'm gonna say this quickly in 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
There's this thing when it comes to love of getting out of our way. how do we know who is right for us when we are constantly in our way, right? So this is why we have to let love come how it comes, right? It's not to say that we don't have an attraction or to certain things, but what I am saying too is that a lot of times we all have been guilty of this to a degree, that we interfere with the flow of love.
I can agree. I could agree with that.
We have to get out of our way and allow love to manifest.
So but is everyone ready to be that vulnerable? Do they trust themselves?
Ooh. No, because and I'm gonna answer that question. The reason why some people don't trust themselves is because they probably don't have really good boundaries in place. Because I'm gonna tell you, when you have really good boundaries in place, you're gonna choose you regardless of how it goes.
Yeah, but you know what though? Before the boundaries could come in play, though, you have to go within self to find oneself. Fair. You have to. So you could put up all kind of boundaries and be a mess, a complete mess. Because sometimes we put the boundaries up and we put them up hiding something.
Right.
Come on, repeat that one more time.
Sometimes we put boundaries up to hide something, to keep something hidden.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a difference between boundaries and walls, and that's another discussion for another day. What you're describing is a wall, because when you have
Good point.
When you have
it's a good point, but it's still a boundary because you don't want that person to come in. Period.
But that's a wall. But that's a wall.
Right. A wall. No.
You know, I'm not going to give up. You know,
we know this, but I like Nick. We'll do it another day, and then you'll give up then.
Because boundaries both are defense mechanisms. Mm-hmm. Boundaries are more so. These are the rules and regulations in order to facilitate a healthy dynamic. Whereas a wall is a defense mechanism, where it is I'm shunning everyone else because of trauma, or this is just what I've known how to do. This may be a good conversation for Wednesday.
Yeah,
walls. What's the difference?
We could definitely add that to the recap. But I do think a ton of people, mostly single people, stay in their way and stay in their heads. Yep. If they can get out of their heads, love will flow.
Get out some
flow like the Nile River running to the Mediterranean Sea.
You got to get out of tricking too. I'm sorry about the trick. I'm sorry, you loud that one.
Hold on, but wait a minute. So Mark said Facebook, that Twitter, and IG $40. OnlyFans subscription can be negotiated as part of the deal. That's top shelf in the game for a minute now. Okay.
Y'all so silly.
And to actually answer Keith's question, I don't know that everyone's always ready to be that vulnerable. Right. And I know for me, no, I didn't always trust myself. I didn't. And
why is that, if you don't mind me asking?
Because there were decisions that I made that weren't always the best decisions. So I don't necessarily operate a lot off emotions anymore and feelings, because feelings can change. They can be swayed, in my opinion, based on circumstances or situations. So there has to be more substance than just that. And so it caused me to doubt myself at times, and like, okay, I don't know if, because I've had a pattern of maybe not making the best decisions, that, okay, I'm not ready to really make a decision on this right now, to continue making a decision on this, to do this, or to move forward in this, or things of that nature. So it's a lot of self-reflecting, I'll say.
Right, but it ultimately boils down to us. And I agree. I can understand what you're saying, is that I always go back and I say, okay, like, it rarely has to do with other people as it is to do with us. But I say people have to earn the right to be vulnerable with us, because we can't share our truths with everybody, because not everybody has the capacity to be.
Yes. So I would go back and agree with Mark when he says he doesn't come out the gate with the whole being in love and all that kind of stuff. It's like people have to earn that, and you have to sit back and kind of watch. And I thoroughly believe, I can't go back and say, as much as I may have had relationships that weren't great and the other people may not have done the best things or made the best decisions in our relationship, I still allowed certain things to happen. So what they did is what they did. I have to look back and say, well, why did you accept that? Why did you allow that? Right. So in that, what are you laughing about? Oh, his thing. Never. Oh Lord. So in that sense, I'll get to you in a second, Mark. In that sense, it comes it is, to your point, Nick, more about you and not the other person. So it sounds like I got off the short dude bus. So let me define short dude bus. The short dude bus is anybody that's my height or less. So I will probably now, because of everyone, y'all pick on me so much for this, that I may make adjustments that as long as you are taller than me and I can wear heels with you.
Shan, let's just
for the right person, Mark, for the right person only though.
Exactly. Let's just call it how I see it. How I see it. You're gonna make that adjustment, Shan, period. You'll make that adjustment.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have to really make up in some other areas. I'm just saying.
But
Shan, it's like if I gotta give on this, you got to really come strong.
Okay, so I gotta say this and I gotta go. So Shan, okay, so that goes back to what I said about being in our way, right? Like I'll speak from experience to say that some guys will say, I need to have big breasts and big ass and stuff like that, right? And that's not always true, because when you meet the right one, the stuff that you think matters really doesn't matter.
You're right.
Because when you see somebody, and that's not saying that they're not physically attractive, but what it is saying is it comes in a different package. But we have to be open and mature enough in love for ourselves first to then be able to see that in someone else. Come on, Shan. You're gonna learn.
All right, Mark. Talking about don't hate the short dudes, hate the game. Got you. Mr. Williams, before we go, I just wanted to give, when we were talking about boundaries and walls, that a boundary is defined as a line that marks the limits of an area, a dividing line. So a wall would be the correct term of what you were describing, not necessarily a boundary.
I said boundary, and that's what it means. Boundary.
It's okay. It's okay.
If I said boundary, that's exactly what it means.
It's okay. I'm gonna need you as a published author to pick up a dictionary every day.
There's no need when I own the dictionary.
You own the dictionary.
Crazy.
There's no need when I own the dictionary.
Nick, you did I don't know.
But as usual, before I leave, as usual, it
was great dialogue.
I always learn a lot from you too. Very grateful for y'all's experience.
You learned the definition of boundary tonight. And hopefully so did Mr. Williams.
Knock it off, Shan. Knock it off.
I'm saying that to say that I always find myself very appreciative of learning from both of y'all's experiences and things like that. So to that, I say thank y'all.
It's all good, man. It's definitely all good. I'm always asking you keep me sharp, Nick. You really keep me sharp. I haven't been on this platform. You keep me sharp, because I haven't been on this platform in over 4 or 5 years, and to come back like this, it feels pretty good. Keep me sharp.
Shan, do I keep you sharp?
Yes, and you keep me reassessing my list.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
You see, I'm working my way. You see, she's working her list now. Eventually, you're gonna see Nick on that list.
Oh Lord Jesus! All right, y'all. Well, it's been a great day. The show has been great. Thank you. You have AARP, so it's like 3374.
Who said that, Mark?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Good stuff.
He said it's like 33. The AARP rate is 3374.
We'll recap on Wednesday, and then we'll actually add to the recap what Brother Nick was talking about and speaking on. We'll talk about the boundaries in those walls.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
Hopefully those folks will bring those notebooks, and we go in on it. We're going on.
All right, make sure you come
maybe
back.
we could have Shan's list just dwindle away. So until she walk in there with a 5'2", brother.
Oh,
we'll see what happens.
That will not happen.
I'm more than sure, because I think you already have a boyfriend. On that note, you guys have a good night. Have a wonderful evening.
I have a couple, y'all. So.
Oh my God.
It is Leo season.
Oh my God.
Oh, you have a couple. Hey, by the way, yeah, you've been getting gifts after gifts and all that stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
That coffee was a real good gift.
Oh my God. And it's the gift that keeps on giving too. So
what do you mean? What happened with that?
Because it's like a subscription, so I get it every month.
Now that had to be a serious Romello
I'm
move.
telling you, I'm not hard at all, y'all. I'm not hard at all. Like the girl like coffee.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Nick, take notes. That was Romello. Take notes.
I got her
That's a Romello move. Take notes. You might have a chance then, Nick.
Oh, even before her saying about me getting the coffee mug, I knew she loved coffee. I knew that.
But hey, here's the thing: you got the coffee mug, but you're pouring the guy's coffee into your mug.
That's all right though. That's
all
right.
My God.
There's only one of Nick. You know what I'm saying? One of a kind.
Y'all to stop.
I got you back. Not take that comment back, Shan. I got you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll catch y'all on Wednesday.
You guys have a good night.
Mark said you got the muscle shirt. That's 2 weeks in a row with the muscle shirt.
Hey man, it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll catch y'all on Wednesday.
All right, see you Wednesday. Good night, everyone.
Man, see you later.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.